Hey, what's up guys, Nick here, and today I'll be answering a question that I have got for a very long time. So about a year ago, or just over a year, I did a series where in Warzone I would jump in and pretend to be a Spartan from Noble Team, and I would always get asked the question, Nick, who's your favorite Spartan from Noble Team? Who's your #1 Spartan from this squad? And I never really gave a clear answer. I never really made a video kind of telling people who my #1 Spartan was. So that's what I'll be doing in today's video, and also giving a reason why. But instead of just saying, oh, I like this one for this reason, I'll be going through all the different Spartans, kind of giving my opinion on them, and letting you guys know what I think of Noble Team as a whole. So of course, for today's video, I've got the proper attire. I've got my Greetings from Reach t-shirt on that I got in a Halo loot crate. I actually kind of just put this t-shirt on without really thinking about recording this video, so it's just a really good coincidence. But I love wearing this t-shirt because it's Halo and I'm a Halo nerd, so it all makes sense, I guess. As well as the t-shirt, I also want to show off really quick the statue that I got with the Legendary Edition of Halo Reach. I think it was called the Legendary Edition. I can't really remember now. It came out a very long time ago, but basically, I love Noble Team. I think they are very cool. So this video is very long overdue. So let's jump into all the different Spartans of Noble Team and kind of get my opinions on them. So the style of this video is going to be a little bit different from usual, kind of mix things up a little bit. Usually I would just jump into a game of something and then just talk while I'm gaming. But for this one, I'm going to record my commentary and then kind of splice gameplay and stuff over the screen from time to time, just so I can get a clear image and talk smoothly about what I want to discuss. Because if I do the other way where I just game, I get mixed up, I get my words all mumbled, and it just doesn't come out as clearly as I would like. So I'm gonna try something new. So if you like it, make sure you let me know in the comments and drop a like on the video for this different style of discussion video. So I think with Noble Team, a good place to start is to go through each and every single member really quick, just to give you a reminder. So first of all, we have Noble 6, who's the Spartan that you played as during the campaign, and I guess multiplayer because it's all the same Spartan, but Noble 6 is who you played as throughout the entire game. So he's pretty cool. He is pretty awesome that you get to play as an actual Spartan in the team. And then the 5 other members are Kat, June, Carter, George, and Emil. So they're all awesome in their own way. So each Spartan is going to get their own segment in this video. I'm going to go through them all, kind of give you a brief description, a brief rundown of why I like or maybe dislike this Spartan, just to give you guys a clear idea of where I stand on each member. But spoiler alert, I pretty much like every single Spartan in this team for some different reasons. So yeah, it's going to be a little bit biased, I guess, in that way. But I think a good place to start is starting with the 2 that I dislike the most in the team, kind of knock them out straight away so I can focus on the main 4, the 4 that I actually care about to some degree, because these 2 I don't really have that much of an opinion on. I mean, they're okay, but I don't really care that much about these characters for different reasons, I guess. So we're going to start off with Kat. Kat is my most disliked character in Noble Team, my most disliked Spartan, I guess, in the team for whatever reason. I don't know why, but whenever I was playing through the campaign, I just never really got a connection with the character. I thought the robotic arm was pretty badass, but besides that, I never really cared for the character that much. And then whenever she died, it was kind of a bit quick. It was kind of out of nowhere, I guess. I didn't really feel anything. I was just like, oh, Kat's dead. That's kind of odd. She just kind of died there. That's crazy.
Holland, the Covenant are still hunting for something.
Where does he get off calling a demolition a priority 1?
And also, she's a terrible driver from my experience playing the campaigns.
Noble Strike, this is Noble Leader. Get back to Sword Base ASAP.
On our way, Commander. 6, let's go.
So Kat, unfortunately, is the bottom of my list when it comes to Noble Team. So again, it's nothing against her. I just wasn't really connected that much, but the robotic arm was cool. She got that much, I suppose. And then right next to Kat, we have June. He might be the sniper of the squad, and if you guys didn't know, I absolutely love sniping in Halo. It's probably my favorite thing to do. So you're probably thinking, Nick, June should be up there on your list, but again, as Kat, I just never really felt anything for June. I mean, he's cool and all. I know the extended lore that has June in it is really cool, but during the actual campaign, I don't know, he was just the kind of there, I guess. He had that one sniper mission with you, and that was a fun mission, that was cool, but besides that, he never really made me feel any kind of way. Kind of sounds like I'm attracted to the other members. Maybe I am. This is getting weird very fast. But June is actually the only member of Noble Team that survived Reach, so he kind of got his ass out of there. He kind of escaped and just kind of dipped from the situation and left the others. Of course, he kind of had to. It wasn't like he was a card or anything. He kind of just got out of there because he was just lucky enough to, I suppose.
Dr. Halsey, Noble 3 will escort you to Castle Base.
I require no escort, Commander.
June, make sure nothing falls into enemy hands.
I'll do what's necessary, sir. Good luck.
Kat and June, for whatever reason, I never really felt that much towards these two characters. I never really had that much enjoyment for them, I suppose. I mean, they're cool characters, but if I'm trying to cut down this list and name my favorite one, then these two are definitely rock bottom. Okay, so now that we got those two out of the way, we're left with 4 Spartans: Noble 6, Carter, Emil, and George. Now, who is my favorite? Who is my absolute top tier #1 Spartan in Noble Team? Because all of these 4 Spartans in their own ways are pretty cool. That's the best way I can describe them. They are pretty badass in their own ways. Okay, so coming in at number 4, we have Carter, and you're probably thinking, why Carter, Nick? He's the leader of Noble Team. His armor is badass. What about Carter could you possibly not like over the others? And my reasoning might be a little bit shitty for some of you. Some of you might not agree with this, but I feel like Carter's weaponry is just a little bit bland. It's a little bit boring for my taste, and I have to think and look at every reason that I can to try and cut down this list in whatever way possible. So unfortunately, his weapons just don't catch my attention that much. If you look at each character, they kind of have their own setup, they kind of have their own skills, I guess, and Carter's seems to be the most bland out of them all. But the thing that Carter did do was have a really heroic death in the campaign. He completely sacrificed himself for you to allow you to go on. He rammed his Pelican directly into the Scarab, and without him doing that, you probably wouldn't have been able to get past that.
Mother! We can get past this, sir!
No, you can't. Not without help.
Commander, you don't have the firepower.
I've got the math.
Solid copy. Hit him hard, boss.
You're on your own, Noble. Carter out.
Crevice to the east. Let's go.
For that reason alone, Carter is number 4 on my list, simply because the way his character went out was really cool. He's an absolute hero. So yes, shout out to Carter, very cool. Unfortunately, his weapons were a little bit boring, so that put him down the list a little bit. So don't hate me for that. This is my list. If you have your own list, make sure you put that in the comments down below, because I'd love to read your list of your favorite Spartans in Noble Team. So coming in at number 3 has to be Noble 6, and I know Noble 6, he is the one character that doesn't actually say anything because you play as him. He doesn't have any input. He has nothing to say, really. He's very quiet, but that's kind of what he is, I suppose. He's hyper lethal. He kind of just gets the job done, but I kind of like that about him. Noble 6 is that character where it's all about you. You are Noble 6. But the fact the character becomes Noble 6, and you kind of make the character any way you want. So if you want to pick up certain weapons and use them mostly, if you want to play in a certain way, you can. So Noble 6 is fully customizable in that situation. So Noble 6, number 3, simply because you are that person. And I know that might be a bit of a cop-out answer, simply because Noble 6 isn't really a character in that regard then, because you are them, but you kind of are, if that makes sense. Basically, you are Noble 6, so I'm going to put myself at number 3 here. Get off of me, okay? It's my reasoning, alright? Okay, we're now down to the final 2, and let me just say, this is a really hard decision. This is a super hard decision to make, because both these characters I love for their own reasons. Both of these characters really hit home whenever I was playing through the Reach campaign. They really just had their own moments that I was just like, damn, like this character is top tier. Like, I absolutely adore this character. So it was super hard to choose between these two, and the two remaining are Emil and George. So it's tough, it really is. But coming in at number 2 has to be Emil. Emil is an amazing character. He is one of my favorite characters in the entire Halo universe, okay? So don't make me sound like I don't like Emil, okay? That's far from the case. This is a really hard choice to make. But Emil is a complete badass. He is literally the definition of badass. If you look it up on the dictionary, a picture of him will be there, okay? So Emil is amazing. I remember thinking his armor, his helmet with the skull carved into it, everything about that was so unique, so badass. I'm trying to think back to how I felt back when I was like 15 when Reach came out, and I remember just thinking to myself, he is cool. He is a cool Spartan, okay? Other Spartans are alright, their armor is decent, but he is a badass. He would rip your head off and not feel bad about it. He's a CQB kind of guy, so he used a lot of shotguns and stuff like that, which is also really cool. I personally don't enjoy playing like that, but seeing a character like that is kind of cool, if that makes sense. I don't like playing as it, but I like seeing it, if that makes any sense. But one thing that wins for me about Emil is he actually has my favorite quote in the entire Halo universe. I get asked this question quite a lot, so I guess that kind of answers this as well. So my favorite quote is from Emil, and I'll play that right now. The scene, everything about it, I adore. So I'll play that right now to let you guys hear my favorite quote in the Halo universe.
Who's next? I'm ready! How about you?
I remember hearing this and being like, you go Emil, I'm really sad right now, but you're a badass and I love you. And I just, as soon as I heard that, that was me sold. That was me completely sold on Emil as a character. And the way he went out, you know, it was sad. It was really, really upsetting actually watching him kind of die in front of you like that. But at the same time, the fact that he kept his badassery up, the fact he didn't go out kind of scared or, you know, in a measly way, a bit like some other characters. Cat, sorry, don't mean to like shame anyone here, but the fact he went out complete badass, he was not afraid, he was not scared, he was just trying to take as many with him as he could, screams Emil to me. So that's why he's at number 2. Okay, so coming in at number 1 is my hero, my absolute favorite character in the entire Halo universe. So not just Noble Team, but my number 1 in the entire universe has to be George or Jorge. I don't know what way I'm meant to say it, okay? This is one thing I've always been really confused about. So I know he's my favorite character, but I don't know if you say George or Jorge or whatever. So if I'm saying it wrong, please excuse me, okay? It took me a long time to get Jun and June correct, okay? So let me alone with this. George is the definition of an amazing character. Everything about him is just perfect for me. I love big bulky armor in video games, and if you look at George, he is an absolute tank in comparison to the other Spartans. But fun little fact about George, he is the only Spartan 2 in the entirety of Noble Team. All the other Spartans are Spartan 3, so this is why George looks a little bit different. He might be a little bit bigger than all the others, so George is completely different from the others in that regard, which is really cool. Kind of makes him a little bit more unique, I suppose. But George completely fits my idea of a perfect Spartan. He is massive, huge armor, has a big chain gun that he runs about and just sprays people down. So George kind of fits the look of a Spartan for me. I guess he just completely looks the part when it comes to what I imagine a badass Spartan to be. Of course, you know, Emil is cool, Carter is cool, but George is different, okay? George has his very unique style to him, which I absolutely love. But not only does he look the part, he does not only look like a badass, he also has the ideals of someone who I really, really like. The way he died in the Reach campaign is probably the most upsetting. It definitely is the saddest death in all of the deaths in Reach, because obviously Katz was a little bit feeble, I suppose. She got shot in the back of the head. Carter went out in the Pelican, which was heroic. Emil went out as a hero, but George's is a little bit different. So let me take it back to what actually happened with George. So you and George were on the ship. You were there to plant the bomb, but unfortunately George had to stay behind to make sure the bomb went off. So he threw you off the ship to make sure you didn't stay and try and change his mind, or maybe try and stay with the bomb like him. You know, there's no point in you both dying, I suppose. So George basically sacrificed himself and threw you off the ship to make sure you survived. Well, to be fair, throwing someone off a ship to make them land back down on the planet isn't the safest idea, but I guess it turned out okay, I suppose. But George basically had the idea that he would sacrifice himself to save Reach, but unfortunately, obviously, that didn't work. But George died thinking that he had saved Reach, which makes it even more upsetting. It makes it so much more sad that his efforts were futile, that he died basically for no reason. He didn't have to go out that way as well. It didn't really affect anything anyway, and he never knew that. He never knew that there was no need for him to go out. And I remember thinking, that's just so sad. There was no need for him to actually go out like that. He could have stayed and fought on, but to be fair, Reach was a bit of a futile effort. There was basically nothing none of them could do. So George staying alive probably wouldn't have done anything, and he probably would have died in some other upsetting way. So maybe him going out with him thinking that he was a hero was the best way for him to go. So yeah, rip George. Unfortunately, he went out in a very sad way, but also a very badass and also very nice way.
Well, I got good news and bad news. This bird took some fire and our thruster gimbal is toast, which means the only way off this slag heap is gravity.
And the good news?
That was the good news.
At current velocity, 53 seconds to endpoint.
Yeah. Bad news is, time is fried. I'm gonna have to fire it manually.
That's a one-way trip.
We all make it sooner or later. Better get going, Six. They're gonna need you down there. Listen, Reach has been good to me. Time has come to return the favor. Don't deny me this. Tell him to make it count.
But that is my list of the Noble Team Spartans. For any of you that have ever wondered that, after my Noble Team series that I did over a year ago, let me just say a really quick thank you for those videos. All those videos have so many views now, so many people have enjoyed those videos, and I just really from the bottom of my heart want to say thank you for everyone that enjoyed those videos. I know that I haven't been doing that many Warzone challenges in recent times, but just because, you know, things have changed, Warzone isn't as fun for me anymore. But back when I made those videos, I had a blast, and you guys had a blast watching them, which really meant the world to me. But that is my list of all the Spartans in Noble Team from bottom to first. I don't know if I can really choose between Kat and June, simply because, you know, they're okay in their own ways, but I don't know if any of them really stand out that much. But the other four, in their own ways, have really affected me, I guess, when it comes to the Halo story and just how I enjoy Halo games, I guess, and where they kind of stand in the Halo universe, in my opinion. But just a reminder, this is all my opinion, so feel free to completely disagree with me. Feel free to think your own ways. Maybe you hate George, maybe he's rock bottom for you and you absolutely love Kat. If that is the case, let me know in the comments down below. I'd love to know all of your lists, as I'm sure they are all very different. But as long as you put a reason why you like these Spartans in your list, I will, you know, make sure to check them all out, because I don't want to just read names. I want to have a reason, okay? So spend some time with your comments, don't just rush it. Put some thought into that, because I'd love to read all of your different opinions. That is going to do it for today's video, guys. I do have some really awesome videos planned for the near future. Some more videos like this where I kind of discuss different things in the Halo universe and what I like about them, as I can't just keep playing Super Fiesta in Halo 5 over and over again. So I'm going to start exploring different parts of the Halo universe and kind of give my thoughts and opinions of them. So hopefully you enjoyed it. If you did, make sure you drop a like down below, drop a comment of anything that I mentioned. If you're brand new and you want to hit subscribe, I would really appreciate it, as we're super close to 45k as of making this video. So thanks for watching, guys. Love you all, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye. So there's something I want to mention really quickly at the end of this video. So if you guys only came for the video, I completely understand, but it's something I want to kind of mark on my channel and have mentioned here for future reference, I guess. But my dog Morgan, she was 15 years old. She was put down today due to old age. She was just so old that it just wasn't fair letting her kind of struggle on. So my family made the decision to put her down today, and it's probably the hardest thing I've ever personally gone through, because having a pet of 15 years, I'm 23, so I got her when I was 8 years old, and having a pet of that long, you know, kind of not be here anymore has really affected me, really hit me quite hard. So if I seemed a little bit down in today's video, that might explain why. But I wanted to mention Morgan on my channel here, just to kind of, you know, have a memorial for her, have a place on my channel. I didn't show her off on video quite as much as I would have liked, but I'm going to put some pictures and some videos on screen as I'm talking here, just to kind of give you guys an idea of what Morgan was like and kind of how she looked over the years. As Morgan was one of those dogs that would bite my feet, she would bark at everything that moved, but she really cared. You know, if you were in the family, she really cared about you. So Morgan, I'm gonna miss you a lot. I love you, and yeah, that's gonna do it. So go pet your dog for me if you will.